You're listening to the BNI Effect, the podcast for Brisbane entrepreneurs who believe in givers gain. I'm Tony Meredith, and ordinarily I'm a business coach who specialises in sales and leadership, but today I'm your host. In this episode, I chat to a BNI member to explore their biggest wins, biggest lessons, and how you can get the most out of your BNI membership. This is episode number 82, and today's guest is Shayne Guy from the same name business, Shayne Guy. Welcome, Shayne. How are you?
I'm fantastic, Tony, and thank you for the invite.
Thank you for being here. Given it's a BNI podcast, let's kick it off talking about BNI. What's the best referral you've either given or received through BNI?
I'll do one of each, if you don't mind. So
Please.
I think the best one I gave was it was purely by chance. You got to listen out for people complaining and stuff like that. So I was out in one of my businesses, one of our older businesses. I was out quoting on installing a pool heater. And as I was explaining things to them about how much they cost to run and stuff, they're like, oh, we really need to look at getting some solar. So while I was there, I actually rang a solar guy in one of the other chapters, Nathan Bill from Solar Air Energy. And I know that job was one of their favorites. Like it turned into a really, really big job that kept coming back. So I didn't get my job out of it because I needed to get the solar done first. But then mine's just come back around again now. And they said, oh, can you give us Nathan's number again? We want to spend about another $20,000 on solar batteries. I'm like, oh, he'd love to have that phone call. So that's probably one of the best ones I've given. And I think one of the best ones I've received was, once again, in my old swimming pool business. I got a referral to an electrical insurance assessor that's probably turned into, it's getting close to 200K worth of work over the last 2 years. It just keeps coming and opened up a whole new industry for me. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
How did you first discover BNI, Shayne?
I used to live in North Queensland, and my employer at the time was a member. And so I was in and around it a little bit, but I didn't get it. Right? I wasn't a business owner. Then when I became a business owner, the franchise owner up there, Bernie Hawk, was like, come on, Shayne, when are you coming to say hello? And I still didn't quite get it. I moved to Brisbane, and there was a startup chapter happening, and Mark Winter, who was starting it up, reached out a couple of times. The first time was right at the start of COVID. So it kind of fizzled out. It just didn't quite happen. Wrong timing, right? And then about 12 months later, we all started to get back together and started to have a coffee together again with those horrible masks. And so he reached back out again. So I came along for a visit, of course. And I was brand new, starting up in a new town. Money wasn't great at the time. And then so I'm like, let me think about it. I get a phone call from another Mark in that chapter. He's gone, hey, Mr. Guy, one of your competitors has put an application. I'm like, send me the form. So I sent the form
Yeah.
that day, had a great interview with our franchise owner, Lisa Gill, and Mark, and the rest is history. I've some great things in it since and in and around it. Yeah.
And what was it about that first meeting, Shayne, that encouraged you to want to learn more about BNI?
I just, cause I knew the purpose of it, right? From coming through it, but just being around the wrong people and just wasn't right at the time. Because I do believe that uh, it's not right for everybody.
Mm.
You have to be in the right frame of mind. You have to be someone who gives. You have to be abundance mindset. Um, and I could just see that in the room of people. And then by the time I kind of between my visit and then coming back, once I put my application in, I think I joined it around member 15. So we hadn't even chartered yet. But there was a couple of people in that group, and I'm just like, I think I can work and learn from these people.
Mm.
And it just felt right. Like I'd moved to a new town, and just I felt comfortable, but out of my comfort bubble enough to know that I was in the right place.
So when did you know that BNI was going to be worth it for you?
I reckon after about a month, maybe the second month, is when I got that big referral that's kept on giving back to me just by chance. It was actually our launch director that gave me that referral after a conversation, after a one-to-one. And I still get work from this referral every month. And when storm season hits, it's almost referrals that I can't keep up with in one of my businesses. But so I knew that financially I was in the right spot. Um, but I'd also grown a lot already because I'd taken on a role in the membership committee straight away, which then led to I became education coordinator, I became president. So it all just kind of steamrolled from there. I'm just doing that early work.
So, what do you do consistently that ensures that BNI brings you results?
I think I actively look for ways to give to people. So if I sit down with somebody for a one-to-one, I will not just learn about their business and them personally, if they're willing to share, of course, but more about how I can help like today. So I often go, tell me more about that. I'm like, ooh, I think I might know someone, and I might pull out my phone and I'll start looking for contacts. Or so I really try hard on connecting people as quickly as I can to those that need to do it. Or I really encourage somebody to help think bigger. So the whole I'm looking for anybody or I'm looking for somebody, I don't doesn't fly with me. So I can't remember who said it, but the surname anyone isn't in the phone book. So um, yeah, I can't remember who said that, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And so I'm often like, oh, let's think bigger, or let's think bigger, and work out what they're trying to do in their business, and then go, now I can connect you with somebody because we just had to connect. And they didn't might not have even known that, especially a new member. Um, so I do work very hard at giving as much as I possibly can to get others a result. Yeah.
So that's one of our values, right? Which is givers gain. Now, on the flip side, what are some of the mistakes that you see members make that prevents them from achieving success in BNI?
I said they just don't give it enough. So like there's plenty of stories of people that say it doesn't work for me when that they're not putting in the effort. So, they're lucky if they turn up twice a month or three times a month. They don't spend time meeting, getting to know all the other members through one-to-ones. They don't give referrals, they're more there to take it. So they're just not putting in the effort. I think like with anything, Tony, if you go to the gym or through if you're trying to upskill, the more you put in, the more you will get out. And it's so relative to being a good BNI member. Now, like I'm not always at 100 points, but I'm always at 90 plus or 85 plus. And I work very hard at that, but I put that effort in. So I have pretty good attendance. I think I lost my father a few years ago and I had a couple of days off then, a couple of weeks off then. And there's only been a couple of occasions where I've had to put a sub in as well. Actually, this week coming, I try and structure my holidays after my Friday meeting.
Yep.
Um, but I do put a lot in, and some people do say, "Geez, you do put a lot in," but I just get so much value out of it.
Mm.
I so I always encourage people that are on that verge to go, look, I think if you just commit a bit more, like why do it at all if you're not going to go 100%? Like, so myself is I in my chapter this year I'm the education coordinator. Um, I give as much to those members as I can. I'm also a launch director, so I help launch chapters as well. So like 4 chapters
Mm.
almost at the moment. So,
Mm.
but that really helps build my own personal brand.
Mm.
So that's why I get so much more out of it because I am giving
Yep.
as much as I bandwidth as I possibly can. But I know it just comes back without me for trying. So I always encourage people when they're just like, I can't see the value in this. I'm like, I don't think you're trying hard enough.
Well, it's a model that's been around for 40 years, and it
Yeah.
hasn't been around for 40 years by accident. It's an amazing system, amazing set of processes, but like you said, they're not going to operate themselves. And so it's about you'll get out of things what you put into them. So, no, that's a terrific summary, Shane. Let's talk about you and your business now, mate. So, what are the main products and services that you offer?
Look, I've done a lot over the years, and what I focus on now is helping other businesses grow. So I hold a business coach seat. Now, you know, e- everyone, and Tony, everyone's a coach these days. Um, but I do believe that rather than just being a business coach, I'm a business growth strategist. So I want to work on people like growing into a market or growing their market share. I want to help people grow themselves personally. I want to help them grow their teams. So that's something that I like to specialize in. Um, and I think the difference between a business coach that does a course program, not that there's anything wrong with offering a course, is I have a tailored approach. So just before I got here, I just came from a session with a client on site, and their needs are very different from somebody I'm seeing tomorrow. They're polar opposites, but they still want to grow. One needs to grow their back end before they can grow their front end, and the other one had the back end sorted. So we're now looking at where they fit in the market, and what we can do there.
So you're saying that you're different because you have a tailored approach. Is there any other reasons that your business is different to others, Shane?
Tony, I wear scars in business.
Yeah.
So if you zoom right out, and I'm a big zoom out guy,
Yep.
um, and look at the big picture, and that's because that's where you can see real world numbers and
Yep.
stuff like that. Although I'm not a maths guy, I do like numbers that tell a story. And I've got uh, only 10 years in business, but I think I've probably packed 20 years worth into it. I'm the kind of person that goes, well, there's 24 hours in a day. There's typically at least eight that people don't use. So I'll keep building my business on that.
Mm.
Um, and with that come with a lot of lessons. I've failed many businesses. I've been ripped off. I've been copied. I've been taken to QCAT of no fault of mine. I've said yes to the wrong clients. I've said no to the right clients. And um, so I wear those scars on a daily basis. And they're the lessons that you learn. And I actually think are the best lessons to teach, because if you can help someone avoid saying yes to the wrong customers, that's a dramatic change in business. Often a newish business uh, will say yes to work, even if it's the wrong client or even if they're not making money. And typically they're the worst clients to have because they become the most troublesome. Whereas if you're looking for clients that are at the top end, they're happy to pay a premium price, you're far likely less to have a problem as long as you deliver an amazing service. So teaching, showing the scars that I've got from the trenches of business, where sometimes it feels you're going to war with every other competitor and your clients and the tax office and the legislation every single day. Um, just teaches it lesson after lesson after lesson. And they're the lessons I actually like to teach, or work with clients to help them avoid or leverage or whatever it is that they need to help them succeed.
Well, to use a sporting analogy, it's about match fitness, isn't it? It's about getting on the field and playing. You can do all the theory and the training paddock, but when you're on the field, you're playing the game. That's when you really can hone in those skills. So thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
yeah.
What's a common problem that your clients face, and how do you solve it, Shane?
Well, I think success leaves clues. So coming off what I just said before, like success leaves clues it's been said by everybody, but it's the reason it's said by those that keep repeating it is because it's so real. And what you don't typically see in your own business is your successes. You see your failures more than you see your successes. But And the reason you can't see them is because you're too close.
Mm.
So most business owners are too close to their own business to see what's going on.
Mm.
I was too close to mine because you just, knowing what I know now, you do so things so different
Mm.
because you just learn. But I think most business owners are their own problem because they're just too close. If you were to buy a business and run it like a CEO or an investor or something, you would make decisions very differently. But when you start something, you've got your blood, sweat, and tears into it, more tears than you care to admit sometimes. Um, Nothing can ever needs to fail if you just stick your hand up. So I just need a little bit of help. And when it comes to how I can solve that, it's just that I don't have an emotional connection to it. I'm zoomed out here and I'm not stuck. I don't have blinkers on looking at the daily. Um, and no business needs to be a failure. It just might need a little bit of a correction. And you can't see that when you're inside it. So that's that whole looking from the outside in, I think, is where any coach, not just me,
Mm.
will make the needle move in their client's business. And that's if you're a football player, I go back to that sport, they have a coach
Mm.
because they don't know the things that they don't know, or they don't know the strategies to work with a team because they've been operating at a lower level for so long. Uh, every like sports, people have a coach, team sport. If you're into triathlon, so my wife does, has just finished kind of doing long distance triathlon. She's having some time off now. Needed a coach because she didn't know how to do it. Um, Needs to get better at swimming. Swimming coach. If you want to go and learn how to, you want to be a long distance runner and go and do a 100 miler, you're going to go to get a coach.
Mm.
People get nutrition coaches, weight loss coaches, like because you're too close to it
Mm.
to see the real results. Because sometimes you might be that fear of failing, and maybe you just want someone else to blame. I'm happy to be that guy. If you're going to do the work and it still doesn't work, I'll wear that. I'll wear that. But chances are that if we work together, you're going to see an improvement in some way. It might not be today, but in 3 months' time, you'll notice that. So I think, you know, business owner being the problem are the roadblock themselves, but just the fact that I'm not attached to it is
Mm.
how I can help them navigate through that what might feel muddy waters of business that you might have been operating for 5 months or 5 years. It doesn't matter. Yeah.
Mm. Who's an ideal referral for you right now, Shayne?
I've been working on this a lot lately because I think ideal referrals change over time.
Mm.
And I've got some pretty big dreams that I'm trying to work on. And uh, this part of my business journey is quite new. So I've got something up here that I really want to achieve, but I've got to step there.
Mm.
Right. Look, I'm not crazy, although I do work like a crazy man sometimes. Um, I have big goals and dreams. But I think what I'm looking for at the moment is businesses that are busy in their business, but they're too busy to make a business because they're just busy doing, they're busy reacting, they're putting out spot fires in their business, they don't make enough money. Um, Maybe they have a crappy team, but there's probably not the guys or girls' fault in the field or wherever. Like I predominantly work with service businesses, which is a pretty wide variety of businesses, let's be honest. But people just get bogged down in the daily, and they're my actually favourite. As long as they're willing to learn and admit that they've put their hand up that they might just need a little bit of guidance from time to time. But it's those businesses that are really good at what they do. But business isn't their thing. But they're a really good technician, a really good operator. But that whole business thing, I kind of got a job and then I got busy, so I had to hire somebody. Then I had to hire somebody. Then I thought I better get a bookkeeper, but none of it connects, you know? Mm.
Yeah, great. Mate, let's play a word association game now. So looking for short, sharp, fast responses. So networking,
BNI,
referrals,
dollars,
success,
leaves clues.
good one. Coffee,
Life,
give us gain,
necessary,
yeah. Sport,
important,
team,
collaboration,
Yeah. BNI.
Big wins, two words.
Amazing.
I go big wins because, I've
Yeah.
got my big wins out of it. If you
Yep.
put the effort in, you'll get them.
Yep. Amazing. If you could give one piece of wisdom or advice to someone who wants to grow their business through networking, what would it be, Shayne?
Don't be afraid of what you think it might be. Just be open to anything that comes your way. And growing a business through a network leads to a lot of networking, I think. So network is important. Look, there's that saying, your network is your net worth, but that changes along the way. I think once you learn how to network, if you can start to network up and go to the next level, you don't leave people behind, but be in the room that is going to help you grow. That's where growing a business through your network will really move the needle in a business and personally.
What's one exciting thing that's happening in your business right now that you'd like listeners to know about?
Next year, I'm taking something on the road. So I have a software platform that I've built called ServiGo, and it's a CRM software, and really important that customers can communicate with the business that they want to do business with really well. So I've got this tool that I help using with my clients, but I'm taking it on the road. So we're going to do what's called a ServiGo Roadshow, and we are actually going to have businesses implement a system live in their business, not a 30-day trial, not a test. We're actually going to implement something in their business live that they can use on the day and then going forward completely for free. And then if they actually enjoy what they're doing, then we can talk about them being a customer. But I actually want to roll this out nationally over time. So probably for 12 months, we'll do it around Queensland, and then we want to actually spread our wings and go national. That's my big exciting thing that kicks off next year. This year's pretty much done. Like we are October, is it tomorrow? We're in October. So when this comes out.
Well, this,
um,
this, this will come out in November.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It'll be
so
very much close to the end of the year, and people are looking at holidays. So my big exciting thing starts next year.
Mm,
And I'm very excited about it. And I'll be reaching out to a few people to collab on
mm,
quite a few things here.
mm.
Because I do believe that not only will it serve my goals really well, but I want to change the lives of the families that own these small businesses for a long term. That's what's important.
Well, that's incredibly powerful. Well, that sounds so exciting. Shayne, how can listeners learn more about your business or get in touch with you?
Yeah, ShayneGuy.com is the great place to start. You can, I think you can just Google Shayne Guy now. It's ShayneGuy.com, and that has a lot of stuff about what's happening, events that I'm doing. Hit me up on LinkedIn is pretty good. I try and keep that updated if I can as well. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you, Shayne. Really appreciate your contribution today. Look, that wraps up another episode of the BNI Effect. My thanks to Shayne Guy for sharing his insights with us and showing us what's possible in BNI. If you're a BNI member, take one of these ideas that Shayne shared and perhaps use it over the next week. If you're a visitor to BNI, I hope you've seen how powerful this community can be to your business. Subscribe to hear more real stories from Brisbane BNI members. Until next time, give more, trust more, grow more.